Last night, we showed details on the latest South Dakota tribe to ban Governor Noem. The Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate Tribal Council voting yesterday to bar Noem from coming on to the Lake Traverse Reservation. This marks the fifth ban for Noem after she made remarks about the cartel's presence on reservations.
Tribal Council members telling Dakota News Now that tension between their nations and the governor have been growing for a number of years.
This First Alert follow-up, Beth Warden tells us of the concerns that tribal leaders have regarding Noem's actions, who else is considering a ban of the governor, and if there is any hope for reconciliation in the near future.
The fifth of 9 South Dakota sovereign nations have now placed a ban against Governor Noem from entering their tribal lands. Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate Tribal Council President J. Garrett Renville says it's the duty of tribal leaders to honor the voice of the people, saying although the goal is to have an open dialogue, it is equally important that we take action to protect our values, ensure a safe and inclusive environment, and prevent further marginalization of tribal nations. More bans are also under consideration. Yankton Sioux Tribal Chair Ryan Canoyer tells me he believes Noem's comments are irresponsible, going against collaboration. He's planning an emergency meeting of the council, saying, "We are looking to join with the tribal nations of South Dakota, the Oceti-Sakowin, against the false allegations of tribal leaders working with the cartels." Oglala Sioux Tribal Council member appreciates the support.
I commend the other tribes who are stepping up and taking that initiative, not willing to hear our concerns and not respecting tribal sovereignty.
Chase Iron Eyes with the Lakota Law Project says a tribe has nothing to lose by banishing Noem.
It's sending a message to Noem that you don't belittle our children. You don't get to stand in a public meeting in Winter, South Dakota and say that Native children have no hope.
Yellow Boy tells of ongoing tension throughout his 4 years on council and sees no course for reconciliation.
It's a day late and dollar short in this world, and the lines were already drawn. So, for me as a tribal leader, I stand, as the action of the tribal council and still support the banishment from the Oglala Sioux tribe.
In Sioux Falls, Beth Warden, Dakota News Now.
Now, we have requested a comment from Governor Noem's office, and we will update you with any response that we might receive.